The scorching desert sun rises over the camp of Israel, and the first signs of doubt appear on weary faces. Baskets of bread grow emptier with each passing day, and the water carried in skins runs low with every step. Murmurs spread among the tents. Has God forgotten us? The memory of the parted sea fades in the face of thirst and exhaustion. Moses, aware of the hunger in their bellies and the dryness of their flasks, climbs to the top of a rocky hill. His heart aches as he looks over the people he helped free, but there, in the silence broken only by the hot wind, he raises his staff and turns to the Lord. It is time to learn that freedom isn't just a moment, it's a daily walk of faith and dependence. And God speaks through the people's cry, "Gather the assembly before me, I will show them my power." Moses obeys. He calls the elders, the Levites, the men and women, every family gathered under makeshift tented roofs. Then the Lord commands, "Take in your hand some of the aromatic herbs they've brought and strike the rock." A simple act but full of meaning. Divine provision would flow from an inanimate rock, a symbol that even in the hardest situations, God can bring life from lifelessness. Moses gathers sprigs of myrrh, thyme branches, and mint leaves. The people watch with anticipation as the prophet fixes his gaze on the massive stone. With a solemn motion, Moses raises his staff and strikes the rock. A dull thud echoes through the valley, but instead of stone dust, crystal-clear water bursts forth, forming a stream that flows among the tired feet of men, women, and children. A cry of triumph rises, mothers rush to fill jars, men splash water on their faces, and children play in the stream that springs from the impossible. The water was not just to quench thirst, it was a sign that God, the great shepherd, knows every need. There, in the middle of the wilderness, he provides what's essential, and each drop seemed to sing, "I am the sustainer of your life." But God's provision didn't stop at water. As night fell, a cold wind blew, and something like frost settled on the ground. When the people awoke, they found tiny white flakes scattered over the stones and sand. Not a weather phenomenon, but a heavenly gift, manna, celestial flour that fell each dawn, supplying every family with daily sustenance. Moses explained they should gather only what was needed for each day, for if they tried to save it for tomorrow, it would rot and breed worms. Hidden in this was a lesson to trust in God day by day, with no anxiety about the future. The camp learns the rhythm of continual provision. Each morning they gather the manna, and each evening they store a bit of faith for the cold night ahead. Doubt gives way to gratitude with each sip of water and every handful of manna. Conversations that once began in murmuring now overflow with stories of how God sustained their ancestors. Children grow up hearing of the living spring and the bread from heaven, and Moses around the campfire shares the privilege of leading a people learning to rely on the invisible. This is chapter 4 of our series Moses, the Deliverer of Israel. Here we witness the transformation of the desert. Thirst became streams, hunger became manna, murmuring turned to praise. But the journey continues, and the path to Mount Sinai will demand obedience and readiness to hear the voice of God. In the next episode, we'll discover how ancient laws, stone tablets, and an eternal covenant emerge atop the mountain. Get ready for chapter 5. Receiving the law, covenant at Sinai. If this story of provision and faith touched your heart, like, share and subscribe because the desert still holds great revelations.